4 a.m. 1985, a woman's screams were heard on a pavement near the Gandhi Market at King's Circle. She had turned her head to the side and opened her eyes, and she saw blood. The man next to her, his head was smashed by a rock. Welcome to Can You Solve It? Asian Crime Case Edition, where we look more into the chilling mysteries of unsolved cases and also talk about some of the theories behind them.
Yeah.
My name is Abigail, and today we have Rowing here together with us.
Hello.
And we will be covering a case that happened in India.
Ooh, let's go.
It's a serial killer case. So let me give you a bit of a background on this case. It happened in Bombay.
Okay.
So now it's known as Mumbai lah, but at the time it's called Bombay.
All right.
And the case actually happened during 1985 all the way to 1987. So 2 years.
Okay.
Basically, as you heard what I said just now, right? Is
Yeah.
the man's head got smashed. So what the assailant would do is he would hunt down, or he or she or they or them, not sure, but the assailant would hunt down unsuspecting victims, right? Meaning people who actually sleep on the streets, this assailant would hunt them down. And what he would do, right, he would purposely go and find areas that are dark,
Of course.
people who are alone
All right.
when there's no one.
Okay.
And what he would do is he would crush their heads with a rock. So it's a boulder. Do you know what's a boulder?
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive rock, I guess.
Yeah. It weighs up to almost as much as 30 kg.
30 kg. 30 kg of rock, and then he goes and like lugs it around and
Yeah.
then try to look for
Do you think you can?
homeless
Do you
people.
think you are able to carry a 30 kg rock?
Okay, look. 30 kg, maybe I can carry in one squat and lift, but then not to carry it around the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
like dropping it on people's head. So
no,
like,
I don't think I can do
yeah,
that.
just imagine if that weight is dropped on your heads. How heavy that would. I mean, obviously you will get crushed 100%.
Of course.
Right?
I mean, yeah, especially if it's dropped from a height. So, all right, okay.
Yeah. So this is how the killer actually got his name, the Stoneman.
The Stoneman.
The Stoneman.
The Stoneman.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Stoned Man. Sorry.
So at first, the police thought that it was just a theft case in the beginning when it first happened. Like a theft case gone wrong. Like
Okay. So,
maybe
wanting to run away.
Yeah, maybe the thief wanted to steal, but then so happened the guy woke up, was alerted by it, so he's like, oh no, what do I do? Get the rock from the side and like dump it on his head or something like that.
How convenient a 30 kg rock just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the police thought at first.
Okay.
But then, what happened was, slowly, more and more cases started to happen. The same thing.
How often did this happen though?
That happened in a span of 2 years.
2 years? How many?
Yeah. So we will get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. After the 6th case that happened in Bombay, that's where the police start to see a pattern.
After the 6th
Yeah.
case of a head being crushed by a massive rock.
Yeah. I guess it's also because they were street sleepers. So like,
like homeless people.
Homeless people.
Yeah.
So no one really bothered
Right.
and cared.
Okay,
Right.
got it.
Yeah. So actually there was a breakthrough moment, right? There could have been a breakthrough moment because there was this one man, who, one night he was sleeping at the side of the streets.
Okay.
And he was semi-conscious, so half asleep, half awake, and he heard noises. He actually felt someone step on his shoulder.
No way.
And when he opened his eyes, like,
No, the rock
they-
just right above his eyes.
yeah.
No way.
And the person,
Damn.
the assailant, like, dropped the rock. Somehow he managed to move a bit, so it hit like the side of his head.
Oh my gosh.
But
Wow.
he survived.
Okay.
But still, can you imagine like
Oh, that's crazy.
I know, like,
that's crazy that like he was able to dodge. It's like some Tom Cruise moment right there. I mean, but yeah, it's like rude.
Yeah.
Okay, then what happened?
But he was semi-conscious, so
Okay.
like I guess it was adrenaline that was running
Okay.
and whatnot.
I guess after that he was
Yeah.
still conscious lah, so he would be awake then.
Yeah. If not, he wouldn't have lived to tell the tale lah.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Okay. But yeah, but because he was semi-conscious, he actually couldn't tell who the assailant was. Like, couldn't tell the face of the assailant.
All right.
The police, during the investigations, the police actually managed to determine the assailant was actually only operating within a 5 km radius.
Oh.
That's not very wide.
No, not at all.
Very small. It's a very small area. And they also determined that it's a tall person,
Okay.
a well-built male, and someone with lots of physical strength. I mean 30 kg, right?
Yeah.
It's quite self-explanatory,
I see.
I guess. But
Why does he have to be tall though? Because short guys can't drop that.
I mean,
rock.
true. You have a point there. Maybe
Yeah.
physics. The taller you are, the heavier.
Like they need the momentum to sort of like just swing it down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, that makes sense. I mean, physics, right? Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Man.
in one of the things that the police did actually do as well was send out a team, and they were undercover cops, so they slept on the streets.
Oh
right?
wow.
Like,
Lure him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
that's what he did lah. But the assailant outsmarted them because no one showed up. Nothing happened. And on top of that, what made it worse was on the rocks, there were no fingerprints, no other eyewitnesses, nothing. So it was basically
So it's basically like a gym bro, you know, with his workout gloves, and then he's like carrying that.
a sick one.
I mean, yeah,
sick and
sick in the head, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of gym bro
Yeah.
doing all these things. But then how did you like you said that the cops outsmarted the assailant, the bad guy here outsmarted the cops. But maybe he was like, yeah, you know what, I've done enough for now and I just want to
but he continued murdering after that though.
Understand.
Yeah. So in Bombay itself, a total of 12 murders happened.
Oof.
And it was suspected to be the doing of the Stoneman lah because of how similar the cases were. Everything actually stopped in 1987, 2 years later.
Okay.
Yeah. But just 2 years later, 1989, 4th June to be exact, 4th June 1989, an exact style of murder happened again.
Oh my gosh.
But this time it wasn't in Bombay. This time it was in Kolkata.
Kolkata.
Sorry. It happened in Kolkata. And if you know India's map, Bombay is like here, or Mumbai is here, and Kolkata is, the other way around. But they are on different sides of
India.
the map.
Okay.
And estimate of 2,050 kilometers away from each other.
Wow.
So, this time in Kolkata, in just 6 months, another 13 murders were committed.
Oh my gosh. So total it was like 25.
Well, it did say the estimate is around 13 to 26 people.
Understand?
Yeah. Again, the same thing. The victims' heads were crushed by the rocks while they were sleeping on the streets. This time, the investigation, they actually went to I guess they were more into it. So they started searching for suspicious-looking persons.
Oh. Wow.
For questioning. Okay.
All right.
And when they did that, the killings actually stopped. So, like, it could be because
So means that
they
they caught someone.
yeah,
Okay.
right. But because there was not enough evidence, no choice, they had to let them go.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no fingerprints. So what can you do? You cannot do anything.
And I suppose at that time there wasn't any like CCTVs to be put on the streets.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
to like
1989, I doubt that.
yeah.
Even if there was, it would be like grainy and blurry. I mean,
Yeah,
CCTV
yeah.
nowadays are also grainy and blurry.
That's
so
true.
I cannot imagine last time.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
it would have been even worse.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and another thing that the police also suspected was that it could be done or the assailant could be a mentally ill person.
Of
Right.
course. I mean, that's the easy
Yeah.
way out, right? Like,
Yeah.
just blame it on the mentally disabled. Sure.
Yeah. So they zeroed in on the suspects who were like a bit like lunatics or like mad people lah. But at the end of the day, it was still a dead end because, I mean, no evidence.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end, because all the targets were like random people, there was no specific type that the assailant was going for, or maybe certain, like they wear a certain style. There was nothing about it. So the police were never able to identify or trace back to who the killer or killers are. Right? Now, why I say the killers, so now let's go into our theories, right?
Interesting. Let's go.
So the first theory was believed that the Bombay case and the Kolkata case are actually connected. So they suspect that it was committed by the same person lah. Even if it's not committed by the same person, they suspected it to be connected in some way. Some people believe that it was actually a copycat case.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe the guy, you know, saw the things happening in Bombay and he was like, or he or she was like,
Inspired.
yeah, I'm inspired. I want to feel that thrill or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there was because there was no proof that the case was connected, so they couldn't actually pinpoint whether it was done by a single person or
Yeah.
like, you know, two people.
Yeah.
That is one of the theories.
And I can imagine that at that time, I mean, especially with crimes that are happening to people who are less, how do you say, less privileged or less protected. I mean, people wouldn't put in so much effort to go and investigate, right? So I think that's what I hate about this. But yeah, please go into the second theory.
Yeah, so the second theory is more into the motives of the killer, not so much on who they think the killer is,
Right.
but the motives of the killer. So they suspect that the killer was actually motivated by a spiritual reasoning. I mean, not to say that it's justifiable, like it's not, but many had believed that it was human sacrifice to bring in fortune.
So who are the people who are theorizing these?
So like they are the police, the netizens. I saw some on Reddit as well who commented on it. You know, like lots of people lah.
Okay.
Because you know, I guess India is a pretty spiritual. They have spiritual people sort of. So not too sure.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, a lot of spiritual practitioners, I suppose, in the country itself. But like, what's the connection between these killings and bringing in fortune, though? You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, because to further fill this theory, what happened is the killings actually only took place on Tuesdays and Sundays.
Oh.
Okay, so, and these 2 days are actually ruled by the gods of, sorry, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but gods of Mangal and Shani, which is Mars and Saturn.
Okay.
Right, the two astrological signs that actually is associated with
War.
evil, black magic, and doom.
And this is based on which sectors or which belief system? The astrology or?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because I'm like thinking, because in Grecian and also Roman mythology, right? Like Mars is also known as the god of war. So it's it's a pretty I guess symbolic day for people to do these kind of bad things.
And now, then let me ask you, like, what are your theories? Do you think the cases are connected? What do you think the killer's motives are?
Actually, at this point, if you were to ask me whether the cases are connected, I would say that I mean, we can't tell, right? No evidence, you know, lack of any sort of things that we can follow. And even it was like it's something that happened like more than 25 years ago. But what I wanted to chip in is the fact that maybe who could have actually been behind this would be people who just dislike homeless people, right? And or it could be people with power. So I mean, going into some conspiracy here, it could have been the police, because we know of so many. I mean, I don't know about you, but then I know of so many people who actually don't feel empathy towards people who are less privileged. It's become a very capitalist society where it's like, oh, like I worked hard for this, I deserve more, I need more, and these people don't have anything because they didn't work hard, or they're just lazy, or they're just these kind of people. And I mean, I've seen and I've heard these kind of people in modern day, and I suppose it's not that far-fetched that these people existed 20-30 years ago as well. So it could be something that motivated these people to commit these kind of killings, even though I mean it's just horrible lah. It's just horrible that there wasn't any justice brought to these people.
Actually, it's funny how you brought the police up, right? Like you say it could be the police, like they are doing, because there was actually a movie that came out regarding this case. I mean, the movie, they did state that it's 60% fictional and 40% non-fiction.
Right.
But in the movie itself, it did say that the police were the ones behind it.
Oh.
Right?
Wow. As a way to, like, I don't know, clean the streets?
They I'm not too sure, but they did dive into the, like, again, the spiritual side of things, something about the police and the spiritual side of things.
Okay.
I mean, you can watch it, but people did say that it's not
accurate.
And the movie actually got a lot of fire for it because of them bringing the police into the whole storyline and whatnot.
But then were there any sort of, like, protests, or was there any sort of, like, call to action from any, I don't know, organizations of people that are trying to be like, hey, like, this is crazy, there's like 12 dead people on the streets, right? I mean, in total, 26 people across India, this is going too much. Every other day I'm walking down the street on a Tuesday, on a Sunday, I'm seeing somebody's head smashed with their brains and stuff all over the pavement. Can we do something about it? Has there not been any sort of, like...
I guess even if there were any, I don't think it became such a big thing because... Again, they are the homeless people.
No.
People tend to...
Maybe it's covered up by the police.
Who knows? But people generally do tend to... Or cases that involve homeless people do tend to be put aside.
Yeah, deprioritized,
right? And people with a higher profile tend to have their cases more... publicly known, I guess. Yeah, actually this case is not very well known, honestly. It was quite hard finding details and like researching on this case as well, because no one really talks about it.
Yeah, but see, I love it, because then we sort of go into like the philosophical side of things a little bit. Whose lives are worth more, right? This is like the trolley problem. Have you heard of it before? Like, would you pull the lever and stop this train from killing 5 homeless people, or would you rather it run over one important mayor or dato of the town? And it's like, how do you justify that? How do you justify 26 lives being just gone like that, and then the police haven't done anything, nobody done anything, At best, it's just that we have people like us talking about it. Remembering these people who were also people, who had lives, and was tragically taken away. So that's messed up. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that.
Well, till today, it is still unknown whether the murders were taken place by a single man or multiple people, and the killers could still be roaming around the streets waiting to strike again.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Thank you for listening to Can You Solve It Asian Crime Case Edition on Shock Podcast. Let us know if you have any theories. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.